Hi everyone, welcome to my first YouTube video. For my first video I thought I'd start at the top with the pinnacle of my chess career, which was a victory I had over International Master Jay Bonin in the 2009 Queen's Chess Club Championship. Jay is, of course, an international master. He's an author. His book was Active Pieces, which came out a few years ago. It's a great book. Strongly recommend it. I'm basically a class player. I topped out at FIDE 2060 or so, and USCF I think about 1980. So beating an international master was never something I anticipated doing, but nevertheless, that's what happened on October 16th, 2009. Let's take a look at the game. Okay, so I was white. I was rated about 1866 at the time this game was played. Jay Bonin was rated 2360 or so. So a little bit of a disparity in the ratings. I had actually entered this tournament with a bye in the first round, so I anticipated being pared down. But surprise, surprise, Jay had been held to a draw in the first round of this championship, so I ended up getting paired with him. So completely quite a shock to me, you know. Yeah, I did not expect to get paired with Jay Bonin in round two. All right, so I was white. First move of the game, e4. This is my favorite move. If you ever see me play d4, that's likely because I touched the wrong pawn. E4 has just been the move I've played, 95% of the time in my tournament career. Jay, on the other hand, he's not as predictable as me. He'll play a million different openings, and in this particular game, he plays c6, the Caro-Kann. All right, so we've got the Caro-Kann, and my next move is d4. Pretty standard stuff. Jay plays d5, again, standard move in the Caro-Kann. Now I break things up a little bit. Knight d2. Okay, it's a little offbeat, something different. The normal move here, of course, is knight to c3. However, once someone played b5 against me when I played knight c3, and now I kind of panicked. I'm like, wow, he's threatening to push my knight. If I let him push my knight, he's going to win my e-pawn over here. So instead of looking up whatever I was supposed to play against b5, I simply decided to vary before that and play knight d2, which is what I play all the time now in the Caro-Kann. And the best reply, black should just take the pawn. There's no trick to knight d2. It's just, black should play as he would play against a normal knight c3. He should just grab the pawn. But Jay likes to vary his openings. He does not like to play standard stuff. And maybe he thinks I've got some kind of... no, I don't think he could have thought I had a surprise there. I think he just wanted to surprise me. He plays knight h6. I always tell the kids, don't put your knights on the rim. A knight on the rim is grim. Or dim. There's a lot of rhymes you can go for there. It just has a lot less range, right? There's no squares on the edge of the board that the knight can jump to. So this is what Jay plays. Now he's taken me out of book. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I played knight f3, just standard developing. When I get my pieces out, Jay plays c6. What is this? c6. There's a famous chess player by the name of Benny Watts. And Benny Watts had something to say about this. He says, about this opening anyway, he says the Caro-Kann is all pawns and no hope. And I wondered what he meant by that. And actually, if you look at this game, you can kind of see this is, a lot of pawns, but I suspect Jay had hope. I think Jay had a lot of hope. So he should have had a lot of hope. He's playing me. So Benny Watts, of course, is a famous chess player from the fictional story, A Queen's Gambit. And you can see what he means here with the Caro-Kann and all pawns, no hope. What do I play here? I play more pawns, no hope. I definitely have no hope on my end. I play c3. I guess my idea is to, develop my queen, perhaps stabilize my center. And J plays knight f7. So we've got more moves with the same piece, but at least he's getting the knight off the center. So that can't be bad. I want to develop another piece, I think, right? Bishop d3. That's my move here, so I keep moving forward, right? Getting ready to castle. I always tell the kids, you want to castle, develop, control the center, and castle. Okay, so what does Mr. Bonin play here? He plays e5, striking out at the center. So now we've got all our center pawns just kind of staring at each other. There's a lot of, captures possible here. Which one did I choose? I chose none of them. I held the center. I castled myself. This is what, John Watson, the international master and author, would say is called, he would say this is holding the center, right? I'm not giving up the center. I'm holding on to to my little grip there of the center. Really, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to hold on against the international master, J. Bonin. His move now, he plays another pawn move, f5. Look at this. So now he's got 3 pawns in the center. I don't know what's going on here. There's all kinds of stuff. What do I play? I played knight takes e5, which is fine. There's also another interesting possibility here, where I sacrifice a piece for 3 pawns, which actually I think Stockfish says is the best move. I simply play, whoops, saw that already. We're going to change the variation. E takes on f5. I allow the pawn fork, right? So black can move up. Move his e pawn up. He forks the bishop and my knight. But I'm going to get pawns for it. I'm going to get central pawns. So as we go through this, and Stockfish calls this better for white. Okay, so I've given up the pawn. I've given up the piece, but I'm getting 3 pawns, so I'm good here. Okay, not the way I went. So let's go back to the game. After f5, I played knight takes e5. Black plays knight takes e5. I take d takes e5. And black takes on e4. Got to move my bishop. Don't want to lose it. All right, so I play bishop to c2. So what do we have here? I've got 7 pawns. Black has 7 pawns, if I've counted right. Yeah, so we each have 7 pawns. But my pawn here, my pawn on e5, looks a little bit shaky. It's kind of separated from the other guys. So I don't know if this pawn's going to survive. But the compensating factor for me is I'm a little better developed, right? I'm castled. I can swing my rook easily over to the e-file. Let's see what happened. Okay, J plays bishop c5, developing his bishop to an active diagonal, as he would say, right? This is a very active piece on c5. I play knight b3, immediately hitting the c5 bishop. He's got to do something about that. Retreats it to bishop b6. And now I play queen h5 check. Now, of course, I saw that there was a very simple reply to queen h5, which is g6. And usually I tell people, don't walk into, don't make sudden attacks that can just very easily be repulsed. But in this case, I slipped the queen over to h6. Black is not able to castle, right? He can't pass his king through f8. My queen has that covered. So he's got to figure out what exactly he's going to do with his king. And he plays queen e7, which also puts an eye on my e5 pawn. Okay, so that pawn looks like it's not long for this world. And I play bishop e3. Okay, so I know that I can't keep that pawn, the pawn on e5, but on the other hand, I still have a nice lead in development. So after bishop e3, J exchanges. I take back with my queen. I think I looked at taking with the f pawn, opening up the f file for the rook, but I opted against it. And J takes, queen takes on e5. And now I play f3. Okay, so now one of the themes of this game is pins. Okay, black cannot play pawn takes pawn on f3 because his queen right here on d5 would hang to my queen. I would play queen takes queen. So the e4 pawn is pinned. So black castles, and he's very happy to, finally he's got his king someplace, but he is returning the pawn here, right? So now I can just take the pawn, and he plays bishop f5, another pin. Okay, this is kind of a fateful move, though. That was not the best move. That was actually far from being the best move. He needed to, knight d7 hangs in a little bit more. All right, so instead of knight d7, though, he plays bishop f5. And here again we see the theme of pins, right? I can't play pawn takes bishop. That would be a disaster because I'd lose my queen. So we don't want that. Okay, so again, the e pawn is pinned. But there's a counter pin in this position, and this kind of decides the whole game. Queen g5. So after I played queen g5, it's Jay's bishop right here on f5 that's pinned. He can't play bishop takes pawn. If he plays bishop takes pawn, Jay loses his queen. So that doesn't work. So he's in real danger here. In fact, he's in an unsolvable situation of losing his bishop. Right? Because my pawn here is threatening to play pawn takes bishop. He can't do anything about it. He can't move his bishop, as we said, because of queen takes queen. So what does Jay play? He plays pawn takes on e4. And now I play the point of the whole queen g5 idea, which is I play my pawn to g4. And the bishop on f5 has no place to go without losing the black queen. Black plays knight d7. I play rook takes. This is a nice fancy touch instead of pawn takes. I could have played pawn takes, but the best move here is actually rook takes. He can't take my rook back. Why? Because of the theme of the day, pins. The g6 pawn is pinned to the black king. All right, it would be check. So black plays rook takes f5, and I play pawn takes on f5. Jay plays rook f8. Okay, so, and then I play rook f1. Jay is down a piece. His only hope is his advanced passed pawn. So now he starts moving it, right? So the pawn has gone from d4 to e3. And that's his hope. His entire hope is in hoping to promote his pawn. He wants to get a queen. I play knight d4. The best blockader for a pawn is usually the knight. Okay, so now with the knight on d4, it's got an eye on e2. Knight's not, Jay's pawn isn't going to go much further. He plays e2. Well, it can go further. I can't take that pawn, but I play rook e1, and now the pawn really is stopped in its tracks. Okay, it's never going to get to e1. It's not going to be able to queen. Jay plays c5. Makes sense, pushing the blockader. Knight has to move. I play rook takes pawn. Okay, he can't take my knight because I'm going to take his queen. He plays pawn takes knight. He had nothing else to play. So there was no good move here. He gives up the queen to get the knight and the rook. Okay, which it's not a bad, exchange, except for the fact that he was already down material. So the position is really lost for black, but here's the thing. He's playing me, okay? So I've, blown all kinds of positions. He's aware of that. So he's going to play on until, really there's no hope at all. He knows who he's playing. And right now, with white to move, I could actually lose the game now. So the black knight is threatening to hop into f3 with a fork check that would lose my queen. So that's another hope that black may be pinning his dreams on. But no, king g2. I've decided I'm not going to lose to a cheapo, so there is no more knight check fork. Black moves his pawn up to d3, gets it a little, a step closer to queening. I just move bishop b3 check. Black's king moves out of the check. I move my pawn up to f6. Okay, moving it up a little closer, and I'm also threatening the knight. Black has to retreat his knight. He retreats his knight to d7. I move up to f7. My pawn is protected by my bishop all the way over here on b3. And I'm threatening checkmate in one move, right? If I play the queen, actually, no, I'm not. His knight has that covered, so threatening maybe two moves. If I play my queen to h6, then I'd be threatening not mate. There's no mate threat here, so just forget all of that. I was just testing you. All right, king g7. Black clearly does not want my queen going to h6. And now I play queen d5 with a double attack on Jay's knight and his last hope here, the advanced d-pawn. And at this point, something happened which I never expected in a million years as a tournament chess player. Jay stopped his clock and shook my hand. So I had beaten an international master. It was the pinnacle of my chess career. It'll never happen again. But I can always just keep playing this game over and over. Now that it's on YouTube, I can, you can also just play it over and over. I said for a long time to anyone who would listen, which frankly was not a lot of people, but I did say that when I die, I would like to have this game on my tombstone. But realistically, the game is about 31 moves. I'm not Thomas Jefferson. The tombstone's not just, it's not going to be that big, So now I'm thinking perhaps what I'd like, if I have a tombstone, so I haven't really decided if, I'm going to go that way. But if I do have a tombstone, I'd like it to say, beloved father, dedicated husband, beat Jay Bonin October 16th, 2009 in the Queen's Chess Club Championship. Thanks for watching. Check out my, if you like this, feel free to go ahead and say so. If you didn't like it, that's okay. You can keep that to yourself. I don't need to know about that. And what else? Check out my Substack. I've got lots of stories there. The link is on this page. I have, stories about being a New York chess player, stories that relate to life, to playing tournament chess in New York City for many years. So there's a lot of stories. They're, basically there's not a lot of stories. Right at this point, there's 3 stories. But, if you like, tales like that, and, let's face it, who does? Check it out. Okay. Well, thanks for watching, and take care.